And I'm Jordan.
And this is Double Trouble Features.
Skibbity whoop bop.
Oh, God, that was too much.
Skibbity Sigma.
It's ew. Okay, Gen Alpha, stop. Look at him trying to reclaim his youth.
I am.
God, aren't we all?
Yes.
But I need to go to
At least I'm not 30.
I know I need to go to a doctor or something. Jesus. But welcome to the weekly podcast where we talk about all things movie, television, entertainment, and just what's on these damn screens.
Yeah, and you know what? We found a lot last night. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about some of the movies that we watched too. Yeah. And you know what, guys? Sometimes you just got to watch and love and appreciate some bad movies.
Oh, yes, you do.
Also, we're going to talk about some TV shows that we've watched, and we're just going to talk about the finale and kind of like the wrap up and summary of House of the Dragon.
HOTD, baby.
Woo! Let's go. So, last night, D23 happened.
All right, this one's for you, you Disney adults. Let's get into it.
All right, if you don't know what D23 is, it's just a giant Disney convention where they show everything that's supposed to come out this year, next year. Not the Marvel, not necessarily all the Marvel stuff.
They did do some Marvel stuff though.
They did do some.
They showed it. It was interesting, but no, it's.
But they have their own separate stuff.
Yeah,
and mostly like Comic-Con. They show a lot of that comic stuff.
Yeah, I heard it was a lot of just repeat from that.
Yeah, and so this time, it is for all the Disney adults out there, and we're going to talk about it. One of my favorite that came out was Lilo and Stitch.
I'm so excited. You don't even know. Here's the thing. I think that Disney missed out a little bit with Lilo and Stitch, specifically with the limited series on television. It was so beautiful. Like, this could have been their Pokemon.
Guys, if you didn't watch Lilo and Stitch, the animated series,
yes.
626, 623,
625, the beautiful girl one. Like,
yes.
There was so much.
Electric one.
There was so much to it. The one that was just a dog. And it just barked a lot, and that was this whole thing.
Yeah. God. No, so like, I would say I'm more against doing all these live action remakes. Mm-hmm. But I think Lilo and Stitch is a perfect one to do a live action because A, you can explore the Hawaiian culture, first of all. But B, it's already kind of set up for it. You know?
I mean, it gets into space. It gets into aliens. It gets into like furry little creatures. Like, I think it really does lend itself to having a live action, and it makes it like we can go somewhere. Because like with Lion King and like you can only go as far as the African savannah. You know what I mean? Like that's as far as that world is gonna take you. But this world is gonna take us into whole new places.
Because you could do 2, you could do 3, like you could have all these different aliens all across, America.
I can't wait to see a live action Jumba and Pleakley. Like that is.
Oh my God! Yes,
it's gonna be so stupid, and just like Pleakley in her wigs, just with a bob, just serving it. It's gonna be so
love it
good. I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. But I don't know anything else.
So you kind of touched on it, like Lion King. They showed more of Mufasa. How he's an orphan and got kind of adopted to this other pack. I'm still kind of like, I really don't need this backstory on Mufasa.
I don't know. Maybe if this is gonna break my heart, just like let me know it like up front, because like we all know
who's gonna die.
We all know how Mufasa's story ends. But what's fucked up is like when like Scar was like, I've always wanted a brother. Like that was fucked up.
Yes.
Like, I don't know.
No, I need to see how he goes. Like I think I'm more interested on how Scar goes evil. Than like how Mufasa gets to power.
I'm just like real interested in how this glacier in the trailer is gonna make an appearance.
Yeah.
Because like we're in Africa. Okay, sure. I don't know. Maybe there's no glaciers. Sure,
I've never been to Africa, but I'm pretty sure there's not a glacier in Africa.
I don't know. Maybe we're wrong. Geography, maybe. I don't know. Maybe off the southern coast, it's really close to Antarctica. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But that's also not where.
If you subscribe to the channel and get a lot more views, we'll do a podcast in Africa. next to the glaciers.
Next to the glaciers in Africa. Yes, that's exactly where I want to be because that's what Disney's selling me with this trailer.
Exactly.
I don't get it. I'm just that part always bothered me of the trailer. It just drives me fucking insane.
But one trailer that I actually really liked was the Snow White one. It looked cute.
It did look cute. I knew this is what it was gonna look like. Everyone's a hater. Everyone just wants to like be angry for some reason. Not my Snow White. All that bullshit. She's here. The Queen looked amazing. Yeah. Is that Gal Gadot?
Who I don't know who that actress is. I'm sorry. Should have looked it up.
I know. I'll just
gorgeous.
I was like,
gorgeous.
It looked like Gal Gadot. Like
that's what I thought. I was like, I've seen this face. Like
we'll update later with a little thing. Like maybe we'll see. But like, good God, she looked like an evil queen. And and that's the thing is like she looked like a modern updated version of that evil queen. And so like
because like she's supposed to be who's the fairest of them all. Like she's supposed to be that bitch.
A baddie.
And she looked like it. She looked like a baddie. Like
and Rachel Ziegler's here to take it away.
Yeah, no. And I do wish that I'm kind of glad they got bullied into making them dwarfs.
I am too. They look cute.
Yeah, but I wanted a little bit more. I feel like this was a reveal trailer, but when we get the actual trailer, that's when I feel like we're going to get the dwarfs more, and I'm excited for that.
I just hope because they looked a little too like CGI animated.
I'm okay with that.
I'm a little. We'll see how I feel about it.
I'm okay with that. Next, we got a little bit more of Agatha, which is coming out next month.
I'm so
I know
excited.
you're super excited.
I'm so excited. This is like, I don't know. This is like gay people's Roman Empire right now in the Disney world. Like
the thing is, I'm like, don't get me wrong. I'm excited for Agatha. A, because I think she's a major actress. B, kind of that play off of WandaVision. Loved WandaVision. But I saw this tweet where it was just like, you're telling me that like we could do all this with Agatha that let's be honest, not that many people are going to watch Agatha, but we can't find a director or writers or anything for Blade, which is going to be a vampire killer. Like we can't do that. Like that's where I'm kind of at.
Well, and it makes you wonder what's going on in those camps. Like who's like the decisions being made and like the contracts and obviously there's like some kind of ego or something getting involved.
I don't
to
know.
Where like there has to be some kind of like personal bullshit happening to where Mahershala Ali, like I said last time, they had him locked in a cellar somewhere just waiting for a director to pop up to do Blade.
It's been like at least like
5 years, I'm pretty
6
sure.
years.
And like I don't get it, but
that's why Wesley Snipes said I'm the only
Blade.
Oh my God. We got more sequels for Disney movies. We got Frozen 3.
That's just so like obvious. Like I'm surprised it's taken this long for Frozen 3.
Yeah, to be honest, I really didn't care for Frozen 2.
Disagree.
Did you like it better than the first one?
Kind of. I like the story more. I thought it was more interesting in like character development.
I will agree with you on that. I like the story more.
And I like the music better in the second one.
That I disagree with.
Into the unknown. Into the unknown. No, it's so good. I love that. I fucking love that.
But because the thing is, I'm a huge Tangled fan. And I was like, Tangled way over Frozen all day.
See, I disagree here.
Yeah,
no,
Tangled
I was not like a really big Tangled fan. I saw it like a couple times, but like
love Tangled.
I'm much more of a Frozen girl. But also like, let's put this into perspective. Musical theater girly. Frozen is like made for musical theater girlies.
I was like, they still sing it. It's still a musical.
It's still a musical in Tangled, but it's not like. It's Idina Menzel just brings a little something special to it. It's that
I agree with you. I agree with you on that.
It's that like, and the production of the songs in Frozen are more like Broadway vibes.
Yes,
like,
I also agree with you on that.
I think,
I think the story, the villain, all that stuff in Tangled is better than Frozen.
Mother Gothel, I guess.
I like Mother Gothel.
You'll just always like a toxic bitch.
And that's why I married one. JK wife.
I was like, wow, you're gonna really nail that. Put that nail in that coffin, aren't you?
The next one that I love. I think this is actually my favorite Pixar series. Incredibles. Incredibles 3. We got Incredibles 3 coming out.
I'm I'm just happy it's still going. Honestly, after the second one, I wasn't sure when they were going to do it again or if they were going to do it again.
The thing is, it's a super family. We could go on for decades on this. And so, like, the biggest problem I had with Incredibles 2, which I think is a good movie.
Yes.
Like, actually a really good movie. It's just that it came way too late after the first one. And we picked up right after the first one. Like, you can't go 15 years of just nothing, and then all of a sudden, hey, Dash is still a kid. What?
Well, not even just
Jack is still a baby.
It was like immediately after. I'm pretty sure, like, at the end of the first movie, he's like, I'm the Underminer. Yes. And then at the beginning of this movie,
we start right there.
It was like, we just got done with the Underminer. Like, it was like, boom, bing, bang, boom, and now we're in hiding because all this stuff. Like, it was this whole thing, but like... Yeah, no, it picked up way too soon. There needs to be an acknowledgement of the time jump, which I'm hoping we get with Incredibles 3, but...
Don't think... This one's quicker, though. The turnaround's quicker, so I'm okay if it goes, like, right after.
I really want to go watch Incredibles 2 now.
It's a good movie.
I haven't seen it in a minute.
It's a good movie. The next sequel that we got, Toy Story 5. I think the original trilogy is perfect. I think... They tied it up perfectly at the end. I think the heart of 2 and 3, the setup and the way the animation changed everything in Toy Story 1 was perfect. And then they just randomly were like, you know what? We need some money. So they make Toy Story 4. And Toy Story 4 didn't feel like it had that heart.
No.
Like the other movies did.
It kind of felt like a weird like Woody solo story, but he's like trying to like find himself, but like it felt kind of adult, and I was like, who's this movie for?
It wasn't for anybody. Like, it was for money. It was really for money. And that's the reason why I really didn't like Toy Story 4 that much. Like, they had some funny jokes here and there, but it's just like, I didn't even know Bo Peep was gone.
No, I forgot. Like, they were like, "Oh, Bo Peep left," and we were like, "Okay, when did that happen?"
Yeah, no, Bo Peep, and then and I felt like we had a whole movie about Jesse, and then like Jesse in Toy Story 4 gets like 3 lines,
and Toy Story 2 to me was the best one,
and that's that's fair. That's fair.
It was the best one, and that's because it took the concept of Toy Story and then expanded on it and made it a whole universe and went into it. And then with Toy Story 3, I think it was like a good trilogy. It was a good holistic story.
I think the reason why I like Toy Story 3 more is because I think Lotso is a fantastic villain. And I thought the emotion and the heart and like a perfect wrap up, that's why I take Toy Story 3 more. But I understand like that Jessie scene, like when she's doing that flashback.
I mean, just all of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know.
I like Prospector too.
Well, and then like Zurg, like all that stuff, like him coming out and them going into the toy store and them be like, I'm tour guide Barbie.
No. Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with you.
It was so good, but no, with 5, what I find interesting about 5 is like they're basically what from everyone's understanding on the internet is that they're attacking the iPad and the iPad kids. But
fuck you, iPad kids.
But like, here's my thing: is like, what do you think these kids are gonna be watching Toy Story 5 on?
On a fucking iPad, my iPhone, like whatever.
Like they're gonna be watching it on an iPad. So it's kind of interesting watching a movie critique itself over what it's gonna be viewed on. It's very meta, and I know it's a kids movie and reading too much into it, but not when it comes to capitalism.
No. I love it. But again, it should have ended at 3 because now Woody is
now he's back.
Like, Woody's off with Bo Peep and the gang left, and then they're going to somehow come back together. Like, we're just doing too much.
Which kind of like beat the point of the 4th movie, which is like sometimes you have to go off on your own and
exactly,
and like things change, and then it's like, oh, but then like now we're just back.
Let Tom Hanks be by himself.
No, he's got stuff to pay for. Chet Hanks is racking up those lawsuits. Like,
true.
Poor Tom's got stuff to pay for. He needs that Disney money.
Also, like, what's Tim Allen doing? He's not doing anything.
He's like a Republican now, and he's like really mad about it.
He's mad about being a Republican?
Well, he just seems like an angry man.
Oh,
you remember that show, Last Man Standing, all that? Where he's like, got him, libs.
What was the first what was Tim Allen's show that he had before?
Home Improvement.
Home Improvement. used to watch the crap
I watched
out
the
of that.
fuck out of Home Improvement
Because
as
it
a
was
kid.
just on late every time, and I was just like,
oh, it was all exactly. It was always on, and
was
then
always on.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas was in that, and I was a kid, and like, yeah.
a couple last things. Avatar: Fire and Ash. This movie is not going to take 10 years to make,
Because we didn't need to invent the technology to like film underwater or something. Like that's why that movie took so long. By the way, is James Cameron was like, I need the technology to film underwater and motion capture all that.
But I'm not gonna lie though.
Yeah, it was worth
Beautiful,
it. It was
beautiful, worth it. Still a great movie.
If it wasn't 3 hours long, I would watch it more regularly. Because I sit there and I'm like, I kind of want to watch the Avatar movies. I'm like, I don't have 6 hours to spare. You know what I mean?
I'll watch all 3 Lord of the Rings director's cut right now.
I guess I gotta go to the store real quick and then I'll come.
Yeah, we need snacks.
Yeah.
But yeah, Avatar: Fire and Ash. So kind of like the play off of like we went water first, and now we're going to fire.
Which I'm interested to see. Like, are there like lava Na'vi? Like,
I don't know. But my only thing is, I just hope it's not the same movie. You know.
Yeah.
That's my big thing. But what do you guys think from D23? What did you guys like? What do you guys think? Comment it in and let us know. So I think one of the great directors that we have of our time, you could actually love him or hate him or just be confused about him. But I think M. Night Shyamalan has made his impact on the movie world. And I think you either think he's amazing, brilliant, or you just don't get any of his movies.
I think, I don't know. I think it's kind of in between. Like, yes, I think a lot of people do feel this way. I think you and I maybe are different in the way that I'm going to watch an M. Night Shyamalan movie no matter what. Take it or leave it. Sometimes they're amazing. Sometimes they're god awful. And we've already talked about one today with the one that like recently with the Watchers.
Yeah.
And I really liked that, but I also said in that thing, I think a lot of people will not like it. And I feel similarly with this movie, Trap.
Yeah, Trap. Okay, let's kind of get into it.
Yeah.
So the premise of the movie is just, hey, this guy who is played by Josh Hartnett. What's his name?
Josh Hartnett.
And
there
we go.
He is a horror icon in every right. He was in Faculty. He was in Halloween H2O. He was in Faculty. He's in so many like good horror movies, and so this was kind of like return to form for him. He was in 30 Days of Night. He was like Josh Hartnett was kind of a scream queen if we really want to get into it.
I think that in this movie he's fantastic. I think he plays his role to a T perfectly.
For this and this alone, if you like seeing Josh Hartnett be sexy and charismatic and kind of crazy, which is all he's ever played, so you're gonna get what you want. If you were in this just for Josh Hartnett, you're gonna have a great time during this movie. And then this is one scene at the end. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. So basically, you have a dad taking his daughter to a concert. And at the concert, they're, seeing a pop star. He goes out, he talks to a guy. He was like, hey, what's with all the security guards and stuff like that? And he was like, oh, we're here to catch a serial killer. We're here to trap. We know that he was coming here. And so we're going to try to get him. They check every single door. Every door's locked. They're checking every mail. And the whole goal, I guess, of the movie is just for him to try to escape.
Which I think, is that the whole goal of the movie? Because we took some turns here and there where, like, we only spent about half the movie at the venue itself.
True.
There's definitely a hard left turn in, like, tone and how the thing goes, but you kind of see that with the progression of Josh Hartnett trying to get away, trying to get out of this situation.
Yeah, you start to see him unravel as like he's like, oh shit, I don't know how to escape here. Let me try to go on the roof. I don't know how to escape here, while trying to still entertain his daughter and trying to be that like dad figure.
And then meanwhile, this just won't stop bugging him.
Bro,
And
that annoying Karen.
The whole time I'm sitting there, I'm just like, wow, I hate you so much. I was like, this woman is playing this role so well. I don't know who you are, but she did it. She played being a Karen so because
Yes.
I wanted to murder her. I was like, but
Hey, did you know that Jody and Riley are arguing right now about something? It's just like, bitch, I'm at a concert. I do not care what you're saying. Like, but here's my problem with this movie. Okay.
Mhm.
You have this build up. The main thing I went into this movie was I was like, this is a fantastic concept.
Yep.
I was like, I really enjoy the concept. The trailer actually ruins most of the movie. Most of the things that happen inside.
Yeah.
And what happens after the concert all doesn't really make any sense.
No, and here's my biggest issue with it is like in these moments there needs to be like a hard payoff of the alien, like the whole
Yes.
thing, like where it comes to like in Signs where it's the aliens and he comes ahead with the aliens, or in The Village where she like comes ahead with the monster, or even in like Sixth Sense where like the kid comes to like where he fucking Bruce Willis comes to terms with himself. Like there has to be some kind of emotional payoff at the end, and I just didn't feel that with this movie.
To me, there was just no emotion.
Like, I feel like it was supposed to be, you know, what's funny is like his wife is Allison Pill, and she is a famous, like, she was a teen star at this around the same time as him. Like, they kind of grew up together. Like, that was kind of fun. I really did like seeing her, but like, I feel like the twist in this movie, it just didn't really twist that hard.
Didn't
like,
twist at all.
And so you just kind of sent the whole time. And I did have fun with M. Night Shyamalan. Basically made this movie so his daughter's like,
yeah, his daughter is the pop star.
Yes.
That the concert they go to is his daughter, and his daughter I feel like is trying to like give her own vibe of like Ariana Grande.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
that's kind of what I felt.
well, that's the thing is like she was like kind of a mix of like Ariana and there was some Taylor thrown in there. Like it was very like that vibe. Like they were trying to like emulate it a little bit. Like I think they were trying to hard to like make sure it didn't look exact. And then her name was Lady Raven. Like they were trying to make it hard to like not exactly go after one person, but like an amalgamation of pop stars.
Yeah.
But she did really well in like her singing and all that. But then like, imagine if Taylor Swift joined the FBI. Like that happens in this movie.
Guys,
which I thought was fun. I was like, "Ooh, this is fun." He does not feel that way.
No, because like you said, at the end of the movie, there's just no payoff.
Yeah,
there's
that was the biggest thing.
No point of some of these scenes. Like if you just cut this out, like wouldn't change anything. You think like we never got to see like this dude's name is the Butcher.
Yeah,
they're trying to catch the Butcher, and you never really see any part of like him being the Butcher. And like there's parts where I'm just like, oh, okay, like he's going to capture her and then take her back, and like we're going to see some fucked up shit. Like you're going to see some like
you were waiting for
body parts hanging all.
You were waiting for the horror, and the horror never really picked up. It was just kind of all psychological the whole time.
Yeah, and like to be honest, it really wasn't even that psychological because like it's just like, hey, they're trapped. He tricks the pop star to leave, and then
spoiler,
he takes the pop star, and then like stuff happens after that.
Yeah,
but like not one twist, not one like, oh, this is like a thriller. Oh, it's a cat and mouse game. Like I never got that back and forth.
No,
it was just more of a.
I think the last part with him and his wife was supposed to be the twist. But
no.
it just, like we said, it didn't twist. So for all those reasons, I mean, I think it was like, don't go spend your hard-earned dollars. Inflation's going on, but when it comes out on streaming or something, give it a little peek, but it's not a rush to the theaters moment. I give it a 5. I think it's fine.
I give it a 4, almost like borderline a 3, because I didn't need to be there. I got nothing. Like, not joy. I didn't get anything. I think Josh played like his part well.
Yeah,
but I just thought the story was just so bleh.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what's even happening? Like, there's nothing visually happening. That's great. There's nothing like besides Josh. Every other character doesn't really matter.
No.
And so like I was just like, what am I watching? You know?
Yeah, it kind of makes me sad because like this movie was getting a lot of hype and they were really promoting the fuck out of this movie. When The Watchers was a much better movie, to be honest. And I want you to go. I want you to see it whenever it comes out because like it's got creepier vibes. It's got a bigger payoff. It's got a bigger all that, and it does have like a little bit of a twist.
I need some kind of vibes.
It's like
something.
It's just like I don't know. I think that's the problem. Is Trap felt like if we took an M. Night Shyamalan movie and made it more generic.
Yeah. No. Like if AI made a M. Night
Shyamalan movie. Yeah.
Yes.
Like that's kind of
how I felt.
Which kind of sucks. And I don't know. Like I guess we'll see. But you know he always has swings and misses. Like I'm pretty sure he did the Happening. Wasn't that him?
He did.
With Mark Wahlberg and like girl the plants. Fuck off.
Did he did the knock in the
yes, he did Knock at the Cabin Door, which
also thought was terrible.
Yeah, that one I just like. That one was another one, and see that's those movies you just kept waiting for like a payoff. Like you like there's a lot of tension, there's a lot of buildup, but you never got. Do
you think that he's
maybe he's just a sick fucking likes to edge people?
Do you think he's just past his prime?
No, because I just said The Watchers also came out this year, and I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, but like it's not all those other movies you named earlier. It's nowhere near those.
The like Sixth Sense and
that's what I need.
Signs and that kind of stuff. Like.
I watched the crap out of Signs.
Yeah.
I've seen Signs at least 6 times.
It's because it was always playing on TBS for some reason. Like TBS and TNT on a fucking loop. Signs was playing, and I wasn't mad. I was watching it.
Never mad. Yeah. So Trapped. Don't go to the movie to see it. Don't. This week, again, I always have to wonder, why am I paying for Apple Plus? I always
I know.
I always have to wonder because out of all the streaming services, that's the one I watch the least. And don't get me wrong, definitely they have great shows.
Yes,
they have great shows. They have some good movies on there. It's just not like a Netflix where I have it year round, you know? That's what I feel.
For me, what's keeping me going right now on it is Time Bandits. I really want to get into that. I watched the first episode, really liked it. I still
need you to watch Dark Matter.
I know. I'm trying. We watched so much. We already talked about it on the pod, and I'm just trying to keep this.
You're not trying. But anyway, so this week for my movie, I watched a movie that it got a little bit of a press tour. The Instigators.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Matt Damon fan. I love Matt Damon. I actually love Matt Damon and Ben Affleck together in movies because those two are.
I mean, they're fun. I don't know. Like, it's just every time I watch one of these movies, I just sit there and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking
fucking
about.
Boston ass.
I was like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, I don't know.
The Boston accents are heavy in this. Well,
and it's just like this. It's such a straight machismo white kind of thing that I'm just so far removed from that I'm just sitting there. I'm like,
understandable.
This isn't for me, but I'm sure it looks like they're having fun.
No, and so instead of Ben Affleck, it's Casey Affleck, his brother, who
switching it up.
Yeah, who I think is a good actor.
Yeah, he is.
What also kind of turned me on to this movie was Jack Harlow's randomly in it. Yeah, no.
What?
Yeah, Jack Harlow's in it.
Was he hot in it?
Let's get into it, I guess.
I was expecting to know.
So basically the premise is Jack Harlow is getting beat up by the mob. And they're like, hey, you're fucking this up. We need to score. We need this big score that's happening. And so Jack Harlow randomly reaches out to Matt Damon and Casey Affleck. And it's like, hey, guys, come here. And so they are going to attempt a robbery. The mayor of Boston, it's been 4 years. And so the current mayor has won for the past 20 years, right? Mm-hmm. And they're just banking on him winning again. And so once he wins, he gets a bunch of donations, like thousands and thousands, millions of dollars. And so it's a heist movie.
Okay.
Where they're going to go into the after party.
Like at like a super PAC convention.
Yes,
kind of thing.
exactly. That's basically what it is. And then take the money. There's a lot of banter back and forth and stuff like that. And you can tell like Matt Damon acts like this kind of like awkward guy. He's an ex-Marine mechanic. And he's like, hey, I only need $32,480. And you know how I remember that exact number is because he says it so many goddamn times.
Girl, $32,480. That'll cover like, that wouldn't even change my life.
No, so he's literally like, I just need that much money. He's like, I don't care if we go under that my cut, I still get that. If we go over my cut, you can have whatever else. I just need that exact number. And so, they're like, he asked a question. He asked a lot of questions to try to figure out. And then Matt Damon asked, like, what if he doesn't win? And they were like, that's the dumbest question you ever asked. He's going to win. He always wins. Plot twist in the first 15 minutes. The fucker doesn't win.
First 15 minutes?
15. I swear to God, 15 minutes.
I thought you were giving the whole plot of the story away right now.
No, this is the first 15 minutes.
Okay.
So he doesn't win, so there's no money. And they try to rob, and like there's a ton of people there. And Jack Harlow dies in the first 15 minutes of the movie.
No.
And they like try to rob like the mayor and like all his buddies, and they steal a bracelet which has a code. And so what happens is the mayor, who's played by Ron Perlman, fucking Hellboy.
Yeah.
He's a corrupt mayor who's like took bribes and stuff like that. And so he has a safe full of fuck ton of money. And the bracelet is the only thing that has the code to the safe. And so he's trying to get out of town and get all of that stuff, but he needs the stuff that's in the safe. And basically what happens is Matt Damon and Casey Affleck go off, and like it turns into not a heist movie, into kind of like we're trying to chase them. And during this whole entire time, Matt Damon is seeing a therapist, and then somehow she gets involved into it because she's like, I'm not going to let you go kill yourself or do whatever, because he's trying to commit suicide. He was like, I'm trying to do this, give the money to my son, and then commit suicide.
Man, you're trying to $32,000. That ain't gonna do shit for your son.
It was supposed to pay off the mortgage, pay off some like loans and stuff. Like I don't fucking know.
But not a college fund though.
No.
Not a college fund that you're just gonna leave behind for your son.
What I tell you, this movie is a solid 4 because it goes from a heist movie, which is what I thought. Because I love a good heist movie.
Yeah.
I can watch a million heist movies like all day, every day.
That's why I can't wait for Now You See Me 3.
Yeah, and again, Matt Damon was in Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
Like, you would think he knows what a heist movie is supposed to be like.
He wanted to do a Boston heist movie.
No, this one, this man literally, it's a terrible movie. There's no heist. There's no payoff at the end. Nobody gets that much money. They get off on a technicality. Like you have, again, I watched it because Jack Harlow's only in for the first 15. He's like Chris Brown, who dies in like Stomp the Yard at the very beginning. Like Paul Walker, who I love, who's a fantastic actor. Paul Walker is barely in the movie as well.
Paul Walker?
Yes.
What? Who's Paul Walker?
Paul Walker, have you seen oh my God. Blackbird. Have you seen Blackbird on Apple TV?
No, I haven't. Okay, I'm thinking of Paul Walker. I'm thinking of like
the Fast and Furious Paul Walker.
No, who's like who like is no
Paul
longer
Walter.
with us?
Paul Walter.
Walter, Jesus.
Sorry.
I was like, Paul Walker died. Like, what do you mean? I was like, they brought him back for this again? Like, let that man rest in peace. Like,
R.I.P. Hey, R.I.P.
God.
Bad movie. It might be a 3 to be honest, because there's just the whole time it's just like, what are we even doing? Like, I don't even know why Casey Affleck, to be honest, even is trying to rob anybody. Because like most of the time in a heist, everybody has like their own reason. Everybody has like some reason why they're doing this heist. Casey has no reason.
He does have a reason, and it is because his brother told him to do it. It told him to do that, and that's the only reason he's here. Because he's like, hey, I need one of you. Somebody's gonna but fuck. Ben Affleck was like, man, I'm tired. Like J-Lo's got me doing all this shit. Like he's like, I can't do it.
Yes.
He's like, Casey, you have to take one for the team and do this stupid fucking movie.
Yeah, like it basically became like a heist movie that turns into like a Catch Me If You Can movie that turned into let's get rid of like corruption in the system kind of movie.
So it tried to tackle too much at once.
It did. There was no like what are we doing? There was never like what is this kind of movie? It's very hard to define. Not good. Not good at all. Do not recommend it. So this we start off the show talking a lot about Disney, and
we're getting to little kid stuff.
Yeah, like what are like a lot of Disney stuff. So we're gonna talk about a couple animated shows that we've watched.
Yeah.
But not on the Disney spectrum. We're gonna talk about some DC stuff. The Warner Brothers Discovery, who just lost $10 billion of investment. So
good for them.
Good for them. So, for this first one, I'm going to talk about it. You haven't seen this.
No, I haven't. And now, but watching what I watched, it makes me want to go watch this now.
Okay. My show's called My Adventure with Superman. And next year we're going to get the first Superman movie in James Gunn's universe, which I'm very excited for.
Ooh, and that man be looking fine. Look, yeah. I don't know if I was seeing the vision at first, but those pictures leaked, and I was like, you know what? I see it. I see what you're working with.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. So I wanted to see, because I don't know if James Gunn is going to do another origin story.
Mm-hmm. I hope he doesn't.
I hope to God he does not.
We're like so good on an origin story. We need
it.
We need more of these younger, like in the middle, like. I think it continues. Sorry.
Yeah, no. And so my Adventures with Superman is that origin story, but it's very well done. It doesn't like kind of like regurgitate the same things. It's basically again like Superman, lands on Earth. You get through, him and his parents, but it more talks about him starting to become like a person. Like he's like, oh, I'm like human, and like you really get like I'm a good boy, and like that's like the epicenter of who Superman is.
It sounds like Smallville.
Yeah, like yeah, kind of. But like he gets to the Daily Planet, and that's where he meets Lois. And I think what makes this show shine over like some other shows about Superman and stuff like that, we really get a lot of Lois Lane, and we get a lot of Jimmy. Who's his best friend, and you see what Lois Lane goes through, and like how she does, and like how she's trying to get up through the Daily Planet, and like how she brings along Jimmy, and how she brings along Clark, and you see a lot of Clark and Lois and how they really fall in love, and I think it's done very beautifully. And there's only 2 seasons out right now. And we haven't touched Lex at all. Thank God. I'm happy.
Oh, that is nice. They got back to the other. See, and so
because that's the thing about Superman. It's hard to like envision. Hey, we're dealing with this bad guy, and every bad guy is a planetary threat that will destroy the entire planet. Well, this is like very grounded. At the beginning, first like. We discover these kryptonite weapons, like from Krypton, these Kryptonian weapons. And yeah, I was like, wait, not kryptonite weapons.
These kryptonite weapons from Krypton. Kryptonian weapons.
There we go.
Beautiful.
So you discover these Kryptonian weapons, and like some of these bad guys, these villains, start to use some of it. And that's what damages like Superman and stuff like that. And like, but it feels more like a grounded like villain at first. Then it kind of like escalates just a little bit. Lois Lane's dad is a general who's trying to defeat all aliens.
Okay.
And so that's kind of like that dynamic a little bit.
Because she's in love with an alien.
Because exactly. But she doesn't know at first that Clark's an alien. Eventually, they do know, and then she has to pick what's going on. But the whole time, Clark doesn't understand, and I feel like that's what makes this different. Is Clark doesn't understand his backstory, like doesn't know anything, and so the whole time he's trying to figure it out, understand, and he gets visions of his dad, but like doesn't understand how to talk Kryptonian, and so he sees like a warship, and he thinks, oh, we're just going to invade Earth. And so he actually is like, I don't want to be a Kryptonian. I don't want this. I will stop anything and everything like that. And so like he plays in that dynamic of like kind of hating himself. And that's like all season 1. It's like him trying to discover who he is and stuff like that.
I think that's really interesting because for me, it sounds like, and what I enjoy about the show that I watched was it's back to basic Superman.
Yes.
It's like cutting out the aspects that are like, because we've gotten to a point where like we've been watching Batman and Superman
cartoons
and comics since we were children, and they're still going. And so it's fun to like go back and look and see what they're doing with it now. Like I remember the Batman with like the Joker who had dreads and like.
Actually, not a bad show. It wasn't a bad. It's actually not a bad show.
It was very stylized.
But I was just like, "What are we doing with the Joker?"
They all went through these weird style changes and these like harsh like concepts. And it's like the Bat Family or the Superman who's like out in like the universe and like he's like I feel like we've really leaned into like cosmic Superman over the past 10 years.
He is a god.
And we're getting back to like basics,
Smallville.
telling those stories, Smallville, telling those stories of from where he came from, because I think that like with these, especially with kids now, they only see Superman and they're like, oh, so he just like shows up every time somebody's about to destroy the universe.
Yeah, and but I think what makes it even more grounded is that personal relationship. That I feel like in all Superman stuff we get none of Jimmy.
No,
like Jimmy has his own thing in this. It's funny how they use like social media and stuff like that. And like you get Lois. Also, by the way, Lois in like the Superman animated series, baddie. But this one you get like Lois is like very like an independent woman, and like she's like very like she helps Clark discover who he is at once. And then in season 2, you get introduced to Supergirl. His cousin, but his cousin is controlled by like Brainiac, but doesn't understand that Brainiac is bad, and so the whole time he's like trying to discover, Kryptonians aren't bad and stuff like that, and you get into this dynamic of like, oh, but we all know who Brainiac is, and then Brainiac kind of like convinces and connives and stuff like that. So it's actually very great show, very well paced. I think each season is only like 10 episodes long. Well done.
And where's that at?
It's on Max.
Okay, perfect.
I would easily give this show probably a solid 7 or 8. Because again, we're just learning who Superman is. He's learning who he is too. But the next show, this person I don't think is learning who he is.
Well, I do. So I disagree with you there because.
At the end,
we'll get into it a little bit, but so another show that just came out, and this one's on Prime, which DC, please just pick a lane.
DC pick.
Like, remember for a second there was the DC Universe where they put that all in there. I had a DC Universe subscription there.
DC Universe?
Oh, it was before.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh God, I was like, it was before Max. I was like, that's where Teen Titans was on there and Doom Patrol, all that fun stuff. But no, with Cape Crusader, Batman Cape Crusader. I loved this. I watched all 10 episodes this week. I powered through them. I watched like 5 of them last night. It was
same. I watched 5 yesterday.
It was so for me it's so good because it does kind of go back to that like 90s style where it's like it's back to Gotham and Art Deco and weirdos and creeps, and it's getting back into like the underbelly of the city and like dealing with like actual organized crime while people are also like going full theater major over here and putting on costumes and acting like psychopaths. What I really enjoyed about it was the tone, and it is a little more mature than like what we've been seeing in kids show lately, but it goes back to form for like when we were kids with Batman the animated series, I think, because I remember there's one that stands out a lot for me, like being a kid and like in the original Batman the Animated Series show, Poison Ivy starts kidnapping all these billionaires and like turns them into trees. And then she walks up to one and she's like explaining herself and she's like, and this woman, she's the one who destroyed an entire Amazon rainforest for cardboard. Snaps a piece off of the woman as a tree with her eyes moving. And so she goes, cardboard. And like, for me, it's getting back to that. Like, I was a child watching that and I could handle it. I feel like there's a lot of like feelings over like what kids can handle in media and all of that stuff.
Because this one has like,
murder,
gunshots.
just straight.
Like you have blood a little bit.
The Penguin was a woman who's kind of a slut, got all these baby daddies and kids, and she just murders one straight out.
And I feel like to me, so again, Batman, this is like from what the I think it's Bruce Timm, something Tim. But what he said, this is like 2-week Batman. Like Batman is literally only a couple weeks or like a month in.
Like the cops they don't even work with him yet. He's still a vigilante.
Yeah, no.
Like they're just now starting it. Barbara Gordon is a lawyer and she's like the prosecutor and all that, or a public defender.
Public defender.
And she's getting into all of that, and it's like really interesting. But for me, it goes back to Batman is the greatest detective in the world. That's what he's like known as, and that's what he's like his moniker and what makes him special. And it gets back into that detective work and like getting into
investigate, ask questions. I have to do this. Go here and like actually figure out.
Beat up a few cronies, like tie them up, string them up, tell them they're gonna murder them, but then don't like. It went back to, and it kind of gives me vibes back to even like the Batman movie, the original one, the Tim Burton one in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Like it gave me kind of those vibes again.
Yeah. I would say my only thing is because of the art style, it is like you can't go in and not kind of compare it to the Batman animated series, which I think is the peak of Batman.
I'm trying to remember though, where did that started? Where did that start? Because this feels like a little before that.
It is slightly like before because like I always feel like Batman's probably like at least a year or two in. Mm-hmm. I think the first episode is the Penguin, and Penguin's already captured, which I thought was kind of just a little bit of like that's Batman's like top 5 villains. We kind of rushed that. I did
go in and out.
I do enjoy how we got the main arching like thing, because again, these are all animated series, so like we're churning through like different problems and different bad guys like this and that. But the overarching bad guy of this one was not bad guy, but I would say subplot would be Harvey Dent turning into Two-Face. Which I thought they handled him pretty well.
I thought it was very mature. Like that's what I mean. It's like it just it like it's an animated show, but it's not vulgar in any way. They don't like swear. There's nothing outright. But I wouldn't like it's I wouldn't.
It's adult. It's adult, and you can definitely watch and enjoy it. I loved how they got into more of the kind of like the cop side, where we had just episodes just talking about Barbara Martinez and Jim. Like we're focused on those people, which I actually like really enjoyed.
But I'm not gonna lie, the Harley Quinn episode kind of fucked me up. Like that was sick.
I think I actually loved the way they did Harley Quinn. I actually really enjoyed it. A lot of people kind of didn't like how they changed the costume, which.
What she didn't look like a slut whore. Like
no, not the slut whore part, but like the color scheme. I didn't really care for the color scheme.
But I mean the whole show took like a little bit darker tone to everything. So
instead of like the red and black,
it didn't feel. But oh my god, Catwoman in that original like purple dress,
I loved it.
So like growing up, like I had this big book of like comics and stuff, and like that was my first introduction to Catwoman was with the purple dress and the green cape and the mask cap, and it just I don't know, it just gave.
I wish we got a little bit more plot line of that of her like getting in and out.
I think what it feels like to me is they were trying to like get a lot in there to get people on board,
and that's the thing. It's like we only got 10 episodes.
Yeah. 30 minutes apiece.
And that's what I think is, again, I would give Batman Cape Crusader a solid 7.
Yeah.
I'll easily give it a solid 7. I'm not saying like it's bad or anything. It's a good show. It's a good show. I'm definitely going to watch season 2 and 3. I do think the problem with probably both My Adventures of Superman and Cape Crusader is that we're only getting 10 episodes.
And I think they're trying to rush to the point too quickly. I think, like, because when we were kids,
we got 20 some odd
episodes, sometimes 30. Like, it was crazy. Yes. And so, like, in a season and of 20-minute episodes, you got to take your time. And, like, there would be, like, 2-3 episode story arcs, or there would something happen here, and then we go on for a little bit, and then it would come back to it.
Because I think we could have got a lot longer of Harvey Dent being Two-Face.
Because it felt like he was like sprinkled in there in the beginning, and then it felt like, and then in the last few episodes were just like whoosh, and I was like, okay, that's...
yeah. And again, it was not done bad. No. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Again, I just think that we need, especially for animated shows, I need at least like 15 to 20 episodes.
It's just getting to the point where like people are unhappy with the way television is going because the episodes aren't hitting. You're not getting enough storyline. It's just not enough time, and I don't know what the answer is. I wish we could figure it out. Pay your writers. Maybe the executives of these companies don't need tens of millions of dollars. Maybe you could just settle for like $10 million.
So tell us, what do you guys think? Do you think that TV shows need more episodes, less episodes? Because we know this next show definitely needed something.
Oh, well.
Something,
please God. So speaking of things where we got to see where they're going. We got to understand, because we don't know where the fuck this is going because of how it ended. And we're talking about House of the Dragon.
Without my opinion or your opinion, it is rated the second worst finale in the Game of Thrones universe ever.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
What was the first? That's the question.
The ending of Game of Thrones.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I guess it was better than that. Like, I guess if I really did have to choose, sure, it would be better than that. I was like, oh, what are we comparing it to? Oh, yeah.
The worst ending.
See, I forget. Like, after season 7, you just close your laptop and you never think about it again. No, it just didn't do any, like, what are we doing? What tell me, what did we do? What happened?
Like, just me being honest, if we just encapsulate all this, so this is where it goes to, like, we just talked about how, like, we think some shows needed more episodes, more of this, more of that. And we definitely think that Game of Thrones season 8 could have definitely benefited from more episodes.
Well, a whole rewrite.
And that, but
Broadly
more episodes.
Broken, the greatest story ever told. Fuck off.
This could have been 4 episodes. 4, 5 max.
Well, and here's where I'm having trouble, and what we talked about last time is this is based off one book, and it's like a history book, and that's how it's written. It's very dense. But why is it that we'll have a book that's 800 pages long, and we get one movie? We get a book, say around the same. I don't even think it's that much. And now we have like 4 to 5 seasons of a show. We're stretching it out too much. It's getting too thin. The storyline's getting too thin. And
I don't.
It's just not.
So yeah, let's get into it. Okay. At the end, start with David. We always start with David because we were all this entire time. We were like David. That's how we started this season.
And we were like, I can't wait to see what Damon does. Apparently, Damon does nothing.
Nothing the whole fucking season.
He's just sitting there eating his mom's cooch, and and then he's like, you know what? And then the witch is like, hey, I need to do some blood magic to teach you empathy.
Bro, like that's what happens.
That's what happened.
That's what happened. You're telling me this whole time he was like, nah, fuck Rhaenyra. I'm the fucking king. I'm me. I'm fucking Daddy David. Fuck all these bitches. I can do whatever I want. And it just takes touching a tree.
Well, and it was again, this is where the fans start to get pissed off because it actually would be really cool if the vision of what he saw even fucking mattered, but it doesn't.
Yeah, doesn't matter at the very fucking end.
And so I think that it was really interesting that they would like in the vision show, like, spoiler alert, show Dany and like show Daenerys and show the dragon and like show that as if she was the prince who was promised, because that's what they keep trying to get into. But like she wasn't, because the show decided she wasn't. I'm confused.
And so she sees this vision. Also, there was a goat man when
he's one of the green men. And so I did hear a little bit about that. And so apparently it's like a big thing in the books. Like they're like, the green men are like a suborder of like either human or the children of the forest. Like when the children of the forest and the humans finally like got together.
How am I supposed to know this?
TikTok.
How am I supposed to know this?
TikTok is all I got. That's how I got this.
Again.
And the nerds were really excited about the green men.
You have to explain. You can't just show something and then we end the series. Like we end the season.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like but the problem that this show has is like you show this like the green man with antlers and he's just like hanging out, but like, and it's just a quick flash and
he's like deuces
and you sit there and you look at it and go,
we don't say anything,
and you don't trust them to, because like the children of the forest, like all that stuff, like that was barely touched on in the TV show, even though it was a whole plot point.
Yeah, no. So Daemon wasted my whole entire time, this entire season. I don't care. Like what the fuck are we doing? Yeah, no, Damon, you wasted my time. I did not give a fuck about any of the shit that you did in Harrenhal.
And see, I was sitting there and I was like, by the time they actually did what they wanted to do, which was like him go like do the blood magic, understand his place in all of it, like we could have done this 3 episodes ago.
No, like the only scenes that I needed was him getting to Harrenhal. I'm cool with one vision.
That's what I'm saying.
With one Viserys vision and then him kind of talking to his brother. I'm cool with one vision. You see Tully before Grandpa died. You see Tully after Grandpa died. You kill one dude, and then that's all I needed to see. I didn't need to see all this other shit with Daemon. I didn't care. Fuck you, Daemon. That was just wasting my time.
And I think the thing is for all of it to just end up doing the right thing, and you're just like, great, glad we got that resolved. Fuck what? Like, and then Rhaenyra comes up and she's just like, "Are you gonna be my bitch or not?" And he said, "Yes."
Yes, I'll be your bitch.
And she's like, "Good. Now I gotta go back home."
All right, let's go to Rhaenyra.
Oh, Rhaenyra. I love Rhaenyra. She's such a little murder muffin to me. I don't know what it is. I enjoy her.
The thing about Rhaenyra is we spent the entire season of her just going back and forth. Do I do this? Do I do that? Do I go blah, blah, blah? I don't want to. I want to find as much peaceful resolution as possibly I can. Blah, 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 blah. And just like, I don't know. I didn't really get like a real payoff at the end. I think if the season ended on episode 7 and we ended with just the dragons right there, perfect shot.
Yeah. No, that's the thing is like, and I would have been fine not knowing. I would have been fine with the season not knowing if Daemon was on the right side or not. That's the thing is like, it felt like the whole storyline was like around Daemon being on the right side and like Rhaenyra not knowing. And so
that's the entire black problem.
Like. And you're just like, okay, I don't, because we know
all the black problems in America are because of Daemon not choosing a side. If Daemon just chooses a side, there would be no black issues.
Yeah, and she wouldn't have to have those random people on the dragons. I did think that it was interesting them kind of like going into it a little bit with the new dragon riders and them being like, you have to understand that just because you're a dragon rider, that means that you have to like act better and you act right. And when he said, "And who are you, boy, to talk to me?" And he goes, "That's just Jacaerys the prince." And he's like, fuck. Okay, I'm sorry.
But that sprinkles those seeds for what's to come later.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I like the Dragon Riders. I like the introduction of them. But again, I just thought that again, this whole entire season is just a filler season for what happens next.
And so what I will say that was really it gooped and it gagged me was the talk between Rhaenyra and Alicent. When Alicent walked up and said, now we're getting to like full spoiler alert. When Alicent walked in and she said, I was wrong. I wanted to do this again. I just want peace. I want happiness. This isn't worth people's lives. And Rhaenyra was like,
fuck you, bitch.
Rhaenyra's like, yeah, bitch. I tried to tell you that too little too late, but your pride got in the way. Just like a bisexual girl. But
but no, like that whole conversation, she's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna throw my son under the bus. Aegon, you could die.
Because Rhaenyra said it. She's like, if you truly want what you say, you have to let me kill him. She's like, that's the only way this ends. That is the only way this ends with peace is I have to come in. And she goes, it's funny because she's
technically her brother. She has to kill her brother.
You know, who hasn't?
I haven't.
A little fratricide never killed nobody. Hey, but
what the hell is that? Like,
yes, exactly. But no, when the real thing that gooped and gagged me was they did give like the Renaissance fans like a little bit with the. She asked her to come away with her. She's like, come away with me. Come with me and Helena. We'll go be lesbians out in the woods somewhere with our dragons and just go live our lives. And Rhaenyra's like, bitch, too little, too late. And at the end,
it's because I really do think Alice has just realized her place, and like she realizes that she's not anything anymore. And I did like that scene. I think that's one of the best scenes of that episode.
If anything saved that episode, like for me, it was that scene.
But
it wasn't enough. It
wasn't enough because again, I got nothing from anybody else. Like you see fucking Aemon. He's going around like he's telling his sister, "I need you, bitch," and she's like, "I don't give a." Okay, actually, that line from Helena, where she's like, "What are you gonna do? It doesn't matter. It doesn't change. You can kill me. It won't change anything."
Which is like, well, okay, and it was interesting seeing Helena talking to Daemon, like she's like was part of the visions he was having, and like connecting them. So it did get into but that's the thing is like it got into the magic and mystery of this universe, but it did not explain a single thing. And like I'm sitting here having to watch TED Talks on TikTok to understand what the fuck is going on in this show, but I can't rely on that because half of it's changed and half of it's different from the show, and
And so that's my thing. I'm glad we're getting Helena, and like you see Helena actually get on Dreamfire at the end of the episode. I did enjoy seeing all the Fontless sides, the Starks coming in. Okay, the Lannister going off into Essos. That whole like. That took too long to me.
Well, and were we supposed to be following that at some point? Because they acted like this was like really important all of a sudden, and I was like, I forgot about him.
No, like I didn't need that. Like and again, it goes back to it feels like filler because it's like, why are we like really?
He's like mud wrestling for like 10 minutes.
I don't need that at all.
I don't.
I think though,
maybe 2 minutes. Like give it a 2-minute mud wrestle. Sure.
I think the purpose was because she is going to be like the lead in the TV show that's coming out. The 10,000 ships.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's the lead in that.
She's got like all of her wives. When she looked at him and she said, "I want you to fuck all of my wives," and he goes.
She's like, I want your kids. And he thinks, oh, I'm going to fuck you. No, you're going to fuck my wives. I was dying.
And he goes, how many wives do you have? Like, what? No. But I was just like, what? It felt so far out of left field. Because, like, I mean, the whole time we're talking about the little auto or like the Hightower brother, like where's he at? What's he doing? Like,
okay, and so speaking of
They
Hightower, Otto's just randomly in a prison. So I understand like there was a war happening.
did Daemon put him there or did Aegon put him there?
No, so basically what happened was remember Kristen Cole killed he killed a person that's fighting the Tyrells.
Yeah.
He killed them, and Otto, when he was banished and like leaving, got captured by that same house.
Oh, I did not remember this.
No. That didn't happen in the TV show.
Okay.
It didn't happen in the show at all. And so we just have to assume that this person, that Otto got captured by this rival of the Tyrells.
And maybe we'll find that out later. Like, that's the thing is, like, I don't trust you to tie that story. And the biggest problem with the Game of Thrones universe is we don't trust you to tie these loose ends up.
No. And so, like, to me, it's just like, what? I did like how, like, Aemon kind of went a little crazy.
Yeah.
Burned down a whole town.
Well, and it did show. It's like, and when Alicent was like, "You are a little boy. These people are starving, and your first thought is to go burn down a town of starving people, and you think that's gonna make it better for you, idiot."
No, he's fucking stupid. But the whole like Kristen Cole and
I don't even care about him anymore.
And the brother like fighting, like, "Oh, you fucked my sister, like go fuck yourself." And he's like, "Yeah, just kill me. Like, I'm down to die right now."
He's like, dude, and then he just, I'm just not getting it.
Maybe he's like, dude, I think he's suicidal because none of them want his kid.
And maybe, honestly, he's like, wow, they both took Plan B after, like, and then the face when he's like, when he asked Rhaenyra, he's like, "Please come away with me," and she's like, and then when he asked Alicent, "May I have your favor?" and she was like, I guess. And then he's holding on to that handkerchief like it fucking matters, knowing full well she hates you, dude. Like, that's what was crazy.
No, it's but that is just such a, I don't care. I don't care about this plot. Like, I don't need you to show me what's happening at Essos. We could have condensed a lot of this.
Well, when they said the Lannisters are marching or sailing in from Essos, I'd be like, okay, cool. Thanks for telling me.
Yeah, no.
That's all I needed. I did not need this whole mud wrestling scene, which, like, if you're going to do a mud wrestling scene, at least make it hot, Game of Thrones. Like, it was just boring.
Yeah, shirts off, tits out, like something. Like,
make it fun. Back in my day, Game of Thrones, if you
also, he just slapped her one time and she's like, "Good warrior."
Yeah.
What? Bro, come on.
I don't know. Like, and again, this is just a tapestry that is unwoven, and we're fingers crossed they get it together. But like,
unwoven, but we're using different colors.
Yeah, they're just like, all right, we're just gonna point this one over here. Like, girl, get it together, HBO.
No, so
but now it's even to the point where it was so bad that people think that there's gonna be a secret episode drop at some point this week or the next week. Like, I'm not kidding. If you look it up, they're like people that are like, no, because of this, and this, we know for a fact there's gonna be a secret episode. Guys, not everything is a Taylor Swift drop.
So my thing is, I thought that this season we're going to get a lot of war, go to blood and stuff like that. We didn't.
We got one battle.
It was cool, but like one battle. And I thought we were going to get more battles because this next season, that's supposed to be all war.
Yeah.
All out war. They set it up and everything like that. I swear to fucking God, if it's not bloody war, dragons breathing and killing, or if it's just Rhaenyra going to King's Landing and it's like, we're just done, I'm going to be pissed.
Give the people what they want.
You
have one job, HBO. You have one fucking job, and it's give the people what they want. And what they want is fire and blood.
Yeah, no. So, what would you overall give this season?
A 6.
Yeah, solid 6.
Like, there were some good moments, but they were just we forgot one character who, like, don't understand this storyline at all. Bela up in the fucking ear.
Yeah.
Like, she's out running around trying to chase the fucking sheep.
She finally found her dragon, I guess.
But we didn't even get that. We just got her showing up to the dragon. Like, we don't, like, so they're still leaving that on a cliffhanger.
Just finish that. We didn't talk about Aegon. Aegon is like, hey, your brother's going to, or not Aegon, but he's like, your brother's going to kill you. We need to leave. And so I think that plot point is going to set up a lot for next season of like how she's like, yeah, just kill the king, but King's not there.
King's not there. Now we got to find the little fucker.
Yeah, God. No. I just think this season was too long. A lot of filler, a lot of stuff that didn't really matter. And again, there's great. The acting is not bad. The acting is great.
Great.
I think the acting is fantastic, and I think that's what keeps me going.
Yes.
But we just need to understand, and like somebody pointed out, like here's the difference between Game of Thrones and like this, like. When in Game of Thrones, the dialogue and everything's written out and it's all there. And so, like, yes, fuck you, George R.R. Martin, for taking so goddamn long to fucking finish the book.
Finish it.
Jesus
Christ.
He's a brilliant fucking writer and made this fucking amazing world. But this is a history book, and you just have random people who, like, I love Game of Thrones. I understand it. I read it. But they're just, the writers aren't writing to the same level or degree as George R.R. Martin.
And I think what we have to remember is that these are similar critiques that we had in seasons like 3, 4, and 5 of Game of Thrones. Like, there's a whole sketch on SNL talking about the pacing and like how slow it is in some parts, and then it's like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Like so like it feels like we're back, baby. We're back to having the same conversation because that's why people felt that like season 6, 7, and 8 were rushed because it was such a reaction to people's talking about 3, 4, and 5 being slow. It really is.
3, 4, 5 are peak.
It's
3, 4, and 5 are peak.
I agree, but there are a lot of people that complained about it being slow and then it's rushed. Honestly, you can never make anyone happy unless you do it correctly.
All right, so yeah, I'll give this season a 6. Like, it's an above average season. I think the acting saves it a lot, and
the performances are great.
Yeah,
the dragons are fun.
No, like beautiful CGI.
You get to see more of them and get into the lore of the dragon, which is a lot of fun. I think that was honestly the most interesting part of this season is them with the bastards and all that. I thought that was a really cool concept. I wish we could have seen more from it, but I guess we will next season.
Yeah. Tell us what you guys think. Are we just haters and like this is fantastic? Or maybe it's worse than what we think? Tell us what you think. I think could have made this into 5 episodes instead of 8. And yeah, I would have been happy.
Yeah. And or we could have just like not stretched a book out over 3, 4, 5 seasons.
Yeah. But season 4 is the last season. They confirmed that. This is only 4 seasons. George R.R. Martin said that this would take 4 to 5 seasons. So season 4 is the last one. And yeah, I hope the next 2 seasons are crazy. But yeah, that's it. That's going to wrap up our show. Please subscribe, follow us, give us some likes. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. Tell a friend. Watch us on YouTube, of course. And again, I'm Jordan.
And I'm Joe.
And this is Double Trouble Features.